Haha, yeah, I'm back. Okay, so let me see here. On YouTube. Yeah, man, it's Kev from Kevin's Corner where I try to make Okay, that was earlier. Okay, let's see. All right, I got the notification for part two. And the sound sounds good. Okay, now all I got to do is wait for you guys. Okay, anybody there? Check one, check one. Let's see here. All right, do I see people logging on? Still stretched out a little bit, but it is what it is. I'd rather deal with a little bit of stretchiness than to deal with the broken mic. All right. What's up, brother? How's it going? Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, indeed. I cannot complain. I'm off for the rest of the weekend. Who could complain about that? Yeah, man. There was a guy working with me today. Didn't even know it was our last day. He's like, you going to be working with me tomorrow? I was like, tomorrow? Man, are you for real? You come straight out of a comic book. We off tomorrow. He's like, what? Yeah. And the funny part about it, I hope he never watches this video. But let me tell y'all though. A couple weeks ago when we had Memorial Day off, he called off on his off day. He called out, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. Man, I'm telling you, I'm feeling horrible. And everybody's like, when he came in and told me, he's like, dude, man, I called off on my off day. I was like, that's like getting fired on your off day. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, what was you thinking? Man, I ain't even hear him say we was off, man. I called off. I'm like, they probably was listening to that message like, you sure we made a good decision hiring this guy? This guy just called off on his off day. Boy, I tell you, life gives you so much comedy. All you got to do is pay attention to it. But anyway, with that being said, enough laughing at him and his shenanigans. I should have told him we was working tomorrow rather. Like, oh yeah, I'll be here, man. I'll be there with you. Have him there all by his lonesome. All right, so now let's go ahead and get ready to get busy because I think, let me see, what time is it? I told y'all 6 o'clock. I got people waiting for 6. So, it's 6 on the nose. What? I am on time. So now, with that being said, let me go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. Yeah. I don't want the crusty lips. Silverback. Real gold digger. Real gold digger. Real gold digger. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. And don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here too. That you can purchase some merch if you like. And you also can text MAGA to that number, 330-974-4607. And that, of course, will keep you in the loop just in case they bounce me up off of this bad boy. And then finally, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App, my PayPal, or simply through the Super Chat, you are welcome to do so. I definitely will take it. And need it. Wonderful. It'll be applied. It won't be like the Democrats wasting your money. It'll go to some real stuff. So now, guys, we are at a crossroads when it comes down to the stalemate with the Democrats and the left. Now, you would think that they would have readjusted their approach towards Donald Trump after getting their butts beat. But unfortunately, they don't have a backup plan. They were not expecting this type of shellacking, and they don't prepare for the future. They're not sitting back going, well, do we have a contingency? Nah. It was just cheat, try to, get him, hit him with the lawfare and somehow beat him, rig stuff. And none of that worked out. So now they are left to their own devices when it comes down to fighting back for their life. And just as it was prior to the election taking place, where they had lost all types of, decorum, they had just showed their hand in regards to the lawfare and the deception and the media, they no longer could even pretend that we live in a democracy. They no longer could pretend that they were just, going after Trump because, nobody is above the law. They couldn't even pretend. It was that obvious because they were that desperate. They didn't have time to snooze it over and make it look like, no, it's not what you see. Just like they're doing right now. Yeah, they're sitting back saying, now we are desperate. We got to stop this man because he's about to take away one of our weapons that we prepared. Now he done went and Doge, took a lot of that stuff from us. Yeah, the man done, clean house when it came down to the electorate and all of these things. He's taking stuff from us. And one of the greatest things we done built up was all these illegal immigrants. So we ain't got time to pretend that now we're also all of a sudden going to be tough on the border. We ain't got time to be pretending that we are honoring our immigration system and stuff. We ain't got time for that. We got to do something drastic that will only work on the dummies. Everybody else, unfortunately, will probably see us for what we are. Lying, cheating, stinking, snag-a-tooth, buck-tooth, no-tooth having, slew foot, dirty, low-down, shame, Demorats that we are. But we ain't got time to clean it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get on TV and we're going to use the last remaining, weapons that we have. And one of those is the fake news. That's their greatest weapon, I would argue. And then the other one is all of these paid agitators, these anarchists, the ones that's been chomping at the bits to overthrow our country and destabilize it. They don't like it anyway. They just been waiting on the call. Like, well, when y'all gonna go ahead and give us the green light? Because prior to that, with Doge and all that, they implemented all of the old folks. See, they sent out the hippies for the Doge protests. They was like, we better save the real radicals, for an emergency. Send out the old white liberals, hippies, singing songs that nobody knew the words to and stuff like that. But now the Trump is going after all of their precious illegal immigrants, which is their final weapon of power. They're like, send them out. Now, I know it's going to be obvious that everybody out there doing stuff belongs to us. We know that nobody's going to be fooled and think that these are just anarchists that have nothing to do with the Democrat Party and is not connected to them whatsoever. But we ain't got time to run a PR campaign to try to smooth that over. We ain't got time for that. So send them out there and then get out there and pretend that it's Donald Trump's fault that all of these folks is going crazy. We don't care about all of the videos we leave online, all of the hypocrisy, all of the, contradicting what we're showing you in the background. We don't care about that because we assume that this will only work on our very low IQ voters. So here we are, and they have decided to take a stand. They've decided that this is the hill they want to die on while using all of their useful idiots to do it. And so we are about to hit a crossroads. And the question is, what do we do? How are we going to stop this anarchy? Are we going to let these folks break our will and make us say, you know what, man, it's too moss. I'm so sick of seeing every time I turn on the TV, they burning stuff, they flipping stuff, they whining, they screaming, they're all of this stuff, and they're harassing folks, and they're doing all of this. I mean, just let these folks have their way. Give them their precious illegal immigrants. But no, that ain't my style. I ain't giving them nothing, okay? I'm about running up the score. If I was coaching a little league football team, ain't gonna be no mercy quitting. I'm gonna be like, hold on, what? How much we got? We got 99? Let's get 100. Let's get 100. All right, snap the ball. We're going all the way down the field. But Mr. Kevin, we only got 2 minutes left on the clock. I know. I want another touchdown. All right. So now this is the approach we got to have, because this is that moment where they're going to test Trump. They're going to test us. They're going to test our resolve. They're going to test Trump in regards to how he meets what they have coordinated and are about to launch on this Saturday. Guaranteed. And we're about to go ahead and expose it. So let's get into it. Starting off with what? These are the elements of anarchy, y'all.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world.
They already did that. So flood the country with all these illegal immigrants from air, sea, land, all over the world. Not just Mexico, not just South America, all over the world. What else?
Enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states.
Yeah, pretty much already did that. They got so many of them here, and that's just the ones under Biden. We ain't talking about all the ones that's going back. Who knows? God knows how many that are really here. Yeah, that are greater than some of our major cities. All right, so what else? Because this dude's breaking it down.
So far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen.
Well, darn right. Don't you see it? This brother's dead on. That's exactly what they did. That's why they're running down El Salvador. Yeah, that's why they are fighting for these folks and lying about them being American citizens, talking about that we're going to fight for all of our citizens, our constituents, and they ain't do nothing. They help our economy go round and round. And all of the stupid stuff we've been hearing. Yeah, they have prioritized them over us. Make sure they got health care. Make sure they don't get their children separated. All of these things that they have done right in front of the people who are protesting to keep these people here. That's the amazing part about all of this. They have convinced a dumb population in our country to help us destroy you and your way of life. After we're done with all of you anarchists, you think we want y'all around burning stuff? Once y'all realize y'all been had and then y'all turn on us, what you think we gonna do to y'all? If we could stop Trump and if we could shut up all these conservatives and get back in power, we don't need y'all no more, man. That's when you're gonna see what real martial law looks like. Yeah, that's how the authoritative government looks like. That's when you really see it. So now let's continue. What else they got planned?
With free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones.
Now, isn't this odd? We saw this. We lived it, guys. Everything this guy is breaking down, we lived it. We're sitting there going, we saw him coming in on the buses, on the planes. We saw him staying in all the hotels. What else?
Ensuring their loyalty to the political party
That's why they're doing it. Oh, I thought they were doing it because they just love illegal immigrants. That's what I thought. I thought they were doing this because they want to see these people have a better life. Huh? Yeah, I thought it was humanitarian. However, come to find out, they are bribing these people because that's what it is. They don't know they're being bribed, but that's what they're doing. Look, we hooking y'all up. We gave you an app. We got you here, put you in hotels. We give you vouchers to fly where you want to go. Make sure you got some calf care and some community college, baby. Cell phones, milk for your babies, even over those Americans when we had that little milk shortage because of the supply chain. Yeah, forget you stinking Americans and your kids. Make sure these illegal immigrants get that milk for their babies. Yeah, so this way, when we finally do get you guys some amnesty, some citizenship, you'll remember us, won't you? You won't? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I thought they were doing it because they just love these people.
3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder.
So that's what they're doing right now. And you gotta understand, guys, they would continue doing that if they would have won. Do you think they would have went after all these people we are about to see that Trump went after and apprehended and is getting them the heck out of our country? You think they'd have been worried about that? I mean, they wasn't worried about it when they let them in. They didn't even ask them all those deep questions out there where we've been told not to ask too many deep questions. So we're just going to ask some basic stuff. You don't have bad intentions, do you? No. Okay. You're going to come back for your date, the asylum date? Yes. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. What's your name? I forgot. Okay. I forgot. All right. Okay. I forgot. You go ahead and take care. Enjoy your stay in America. That's what they did. And so these folks that we're seeing, only reason we're seeing these pictures pop up is because they went too far. They went too far, see. Their crimes, hit mainstream. So God knows what other type of people are running around our country committing crimes, and you think the Democrats were going to go snooping around trying to find them? No, they were letting them go, y'all. Check this out.
Rape.
Yeah, they defend these criminals.
Senator, this is a tragic story. Jimmy Friesenhan, father of a 5-month-old girl and a 14-year Marine Corps veteran, fighting for his life now.
Why? Why is this young Marine Corps veteran fighting for his life?
After he was allegedly shot by an illegal alien who's a multiple criminal offender.
What? A multiple criminal offender. Now, how in the world is this possible? How did, I think he said his name was Jimmy? How did this man somehow, you know what? I am sure that this illegal immigrant came into the country and was never apprehended and somehow finagled his way in a position to end up shooting this young man right here and paralyzing him. And the dude can't even breathe on his own now and got a kid. And this ain't no story that happened months and years ago. Recent. So let's see, because I'm sure this illegal immigrant was a getaway or something. Let's see.
This happened back on May the 4th. Jimmy was working security at the El Patio Sports Bar in San Antonio, Texas. He was at the door. He saw a gun in the pocket of a guy who was trying to enter the bar. He tried to confiscate the gun. A struggle ensued. Jimmy was shot 3 times, twice in the bulletproof vest and once right through the neck, which has now left him paralyzed.
Twice in the chest, bulletproof vest, once in the neck that left him paralyzed. Now, this illegal immigrant wanted to hang on to that gun that much to where he was willing to kill a man in a country that he does not even belong in. Yeah, see, they're on a whole different level of crime. See, this is the stuff that would go on in Guatemala, somewhere like that. You know, where they're like, yo, ain't nobody coming after me. Ain't nobody coming after me. However, this man could have easily gave up the gun, bounced, and just got lost in the shuffle of illegal immigrants running around the country. But he decides to take a stand. It wasn't like this man was trying to arrest him. He was just trying to get the gun off of him. Give the gun to him and bounce. But no, that ain't his style. So he shoots this man. So let's get a little bit of information on this illegal immigrant's background.
And unable to speak. Now we find out that the alleged gunman, Wilmer Ortega Ruiz, was in the country illegally, had been arrested 4 times.
Dun, 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 dun. Did you hear that? 4 times. 4 times. That man right there should never have been able to shoot this young man. Now, you got to understand, guys. This is probably the worst thing next to death. To be a healthy young man or woman and get paralyzed from the neck down. It's very hard to overcome that mentally, emotionally. You're sitting here going, my life's over. People will be cleaning me for the rest of my life. No more pushing on the swings. I got young kids I'm never going to be able to play basketball with, wrestle with, nothing. I have now become the responsibility of my wife or some other family member 24 hours a day. This is close to a death sentence right here. Can't talk, can't walk, can't breathe on your own. You're just there existing. While this illegal immigrant who was caught 4 times still goes on with his life. Now, granted, his life should be confined to El Salvador's prison, but I'm sure if we sent him there, the funky behind Democrats would go down there trying to get him out. I'm sure that's too harsh of a punishment for this man who took this veteran's life away from him, period. 4 times.
And every time released from jail.
Every time released from jail. Every time. And I'm sure these weren't conservative judges in areas. I'm sure of that. So that fool that came in under the Biden administration, caught 4 times, ends up shooting this person. And yet, you think the Democrats are going to blink, stop for 1 second to think about how their policies led to that? How it was a example of cause and effect. If that man wasn't in the country, I can see once, came in the country, shouldn't have been in the country, ended up shooting this man. He came in the country illegally, stopped or at least jailed 4 times. And I'm sure Mucus let him go. Joe Biden, let him go. And somehow his path ended right there to shoot that man and take his life away from him. Now, who really did it? Mucus. Who really did it? Biden. who really did it? The Democrats and their policies. Who really did it? Sanctuary city policies. Yeah, all of those things played a part in that young man. And if you don't believe these folks, just like that video I was showing, they're talking about within 2 minutes, we're going to tell you their diabolical plan with these illegal immigrants. And he talked about how these Democrats, they're willing to keep these people here no matter what. Look at these defenses that they have. So that man just got killed by an illegal, not killed, but he just got paralyzed by an illegal immigrant that committed a crime. I wonder if whatever mayor or that city or judges that let that dude out, I wonder if they sleep good at night. Of course they do. Because look at this fool right here. Watch this.
You know who Sakir Khan is. You should, as the governor of New York State.
Yeah, but she doesn't. Do you see Bugs Bunny? Do you see Big Tooth, Snaggletooth? Roger the Rabbit right here. So now she's about to get asked some questions about how much are you paying attention to the illegal immigrants in your state that has been killing folks. And look what she has to say.
Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
Yeah,
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York.
Yeah, but you don't care about that, Big Teeth. That's why you don't know. Y'all don't concern yourselves with the fallout of your raggedy behind policies. You don't want that on your conscience. That's why you don't bother that. You don't want to hear about stuff like that. Yeah, you want to go on, committing all of this corruption so you don't have to deal with it in your conscience. You don't want people asking you, did you call the parents? Did you talk to anybody? Did you call and give your sympathy? How can you do it? How can you call with a good conscience any of these people that were victims of your raggedy policies in your city and try to pretend you're sincere about their tragedy? I heard about what happened to your daughter. My condolences. Hey, aren't you a sanctuary city? Well, yes, but normally the people we let in is this person wasn't supposed to be here. Technically, it's not a crime. It's not a crime to be in. Nobody wants to hear that crap. So look at that. She doesn't know. Man, you think Biden and them know? You think Mucus and them know about all these names in these cases? Nah, they purposely forget this stuff. But let one of them get deported. They'll have a fit. They'll blast his name all over the place. Kilmar Garcia.
These are high-profile cases. New Yorkers know about them, and you don't.
Yeah, because it's not my business. I'm just here to be the executioner. I don't care about all the tragedy and the violence that comes from my. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's where the black man so I don't have to see it.
Let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
I don't have the specific details at my disposal.
Yeah, but what you do have is those two big front teeth. All you got is two big front teeth. All I want for Christmas is my two very large front teeth. So here she is. I don't have that in front of me. Of course you don't. Yeah, because y'all don't think about those things.
No.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar.
I'm not familiar with it. Aren't you supposed to be protecting the New Yorkers? Aren't you supposed to be on top of especially these high-profile cases that hits the news? Don't you ever watch what's going on in your city? Aren't you getting feedback from your people who say, look, we're getting violated by certain people, but when it pops up and you go, oh shoot, please don't tell me that was an illegal immigrant. Okay, all right, la. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know anything about it if it involves our fingerprints being all over it. So let's continue because she's just ignorant. She doesn't know.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you.
Yeah, remind
He
me.
found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive.
Now, how can Big Bucky not know about that? That was a major, incident. Everybody was talking about it. And she doesn't know that. Didn't she prepare for this? Didn't she know she would be grilled by Republicans? Yeah. And so this woman didn't even know. I'm unfamiliar with that. The man burned somebody alive. And you talking about I'm unfamiliar with that?
This is in Kathy Hochul's New York.
Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves.
You hear that? attack the language that describes the criminals opposed to the criminals themselves. So when we come out and say illegal aliens, I'm not going to sit here and let you say that. They're undocumented citizens. Yeah, things like that. When we say MS-13, they come out and they say things like the Maryland man, the father with children. You see the game? Yeah, see, all the game to these people. And I'm exposing it tonight. I'm feeling good about myself right about now because I'm going to let them have it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave it all on the stage tonight, y'all. Where my voice is stripped like a porcupine in the bottom of it because they burned me up with this.
Slander critics as racist.
There you go. This dude is on. Slander critics as racist. Because we can't argue while we have illegal immigrants in our states, in our cities, and we're harboring criminals. We can't make that make sense. So when folks start highlighting that, our response is you're only doing that because you hate these people because they're people of color. And that's the MO with the left, these radical Marxist leftists across the board. No matter what the argument is, it's always, you guys are dirty and evil. You know what? You want to hurt kids. That's why you don't want them to go through transition. Yeah, you're bullying kids. Yeah, you're transphobic. These are the dirty tactics of the Marxist left. And that's exactly what they are. Look at this slime ball right here. You see the douchebag?
4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets.
There you go. Population magnets. There you go. So they make sure that the stuff that they're getting is way better than Americans. Because, see, this is what the homeless, they have to stand. The American citizens, the homeless, that's what they stand. Not the 5-star hotels where the immigrants stay. They get priority over the homeless and people like that.
Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE.
There you go. Codify permanent status. That's the stage they're in right now. They're trying to codify permanent status. And what's standing in the way right now, 1, Trump won. 2, ICE is getting them out of here. And that is why we are at a crossroads right now. They're going, we weren't able to get these folks amnesty and citizenship yet. So what we gonna do is we're willing to cause complete chaos and rebellion across the country. And hopefully nobody will connect this to us. Hopefully nobody will see through our intentions and our motives behind all of these riots, protests, things like that. Hopefully nobody will make the connection that we are really encouraging these anarchists to destroy cities, burn down stuff, and attack law enforcement. We'll try to make it seem like we're against any type of violence, but we'll focus on lying about because most of the people are peaceful protesters, and we're about to expose the weapons that they use to do this. Let's continue. What else?
5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, pack certain states and cities so we can say, hey, we need a couple more representatives. Look at that. We got 30 million folks living here. Unfortunately, 10 million of them are legal immigrants, but it doesn't matter. So we need about 7 or 8 more senators.
As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power.
See? So now if you don't know, now you know. This is all about power. All about power and control. Everything that party does revolves around that, not around American citizens that they were voted in to take care of. They will kick dirt in our faces to get that power and control. All their policies revolve around their own self-interest. Unbelievable how obviously corrupt the Democrat Party is. I can't even stress to you how much disdain I have for these people. I'm borderline hating the Democrat Party. Well, I hate the party. It's like hate the party, not the people, but they even make it hard. These folks are so diabolical. They make it hard for you to make it to heaven because you're going, I don't want to hate these people and try to tell the Lord I'm ready to come see you with hate in my heart. Now, Kevin, I mean, I can see what you really know. I mean, I love Nancy Pelosi. Now, I can see your heart, right? Okay, maybe all right, I don't love her, but come on. Okay, all right, I don't like her. I don't like her. Keep going. Okay, well, I really don't like her. You know I know what you're really thinking. Okay, fine. I despise her. I hate Nancy Pelosi. See, I don't want that. I don't want that on my conscience. But they make it very hard when it comes down to you seeing just how diabolical these people are.
6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots.
No wonder they all voted against having IDs to vote. No wonder. No wonder they always using black people as an excuse of why we shouldn't have voter IDs. They didn't ask us. They didn't say, hey, black people, are you guys having a hard time getting voter IDs? No. Oh, shh. It doesn't matter. We assume that you guys are having that. So we'll use that because that's a springboard to go ahead and allow our illegal immigrants to go and vote too. So we'll just use your calamities, your history, and your ignorance. Yeah, y'all should be mad at us for belittling black people and using the racism of low expectations. But unfortunately, many black people have not caught on to the game. Let's continue. What else?
No signature verification and no proof of citizenship requirements.
Isn't that odd? The two things that will prevent illegal immigrants from voting, they don't want those two. No signature verification and no proof of citizenship. Now, why in the world would you agree to that? Unless you wanted something diabolical to take place. If I ran a company and I'm like, I want people making good choices and decisions to make sure our company's secure, everybody's accounted for, and you bring that policy to me, all right, sir, we don't think that our employees, when they come in, need to swipe in with an ID and show proof that they actually work here. That we think that's discriminating against them and that's biased and it's racist. I would fire you immediately. I would go, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How do we know who's coming and going, what their intentions are? Who do we pay? Where's the money going? But yet the Democrats throw that garbage out there and some people buy it. Yeah, they can't see the real motive of why they want that to take place. No IDs and no signature verifications. What are you up to?
Making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges.
There it is. Lock them in. Right now, all these illegal immigrants know they have advocates. And that's what burns me up. They know that these dirty, stinking Democrats are fighting on their behalf instead of supporting law enforcement, who's supposed to be getting all of these folks out of there. So they've divided the camp. Yeah, they have created a scenario where the children are looking and saying, Mom or Dad lets me do whatever I want. And then over here, I got discipline. So I am going to gravitate towards the parent that's allowing me to do whatever I want to do. And that's exactly what these Democrats are doing. Prioritizing them, fighting for them, pretending that they're willing to go to jail for them, like this slime ball.
Enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party.
So that's what it's all about. Yeah, because see, we want you to look at us as the fun parent. The parent that lets us do whatever we want to do. Nobody wants to hang out with Dad. He's always telling me to brush my teeth, to make sure you wash between your toes and all that stuff. Mom lets me do whatever, and vice versa. So of course, they're going to be loyal to the one who lets them get away with stuff. And the Democrats know that. Yeah, see, so let's continue though.
8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved.
And that is the goal. Single-party rule. And they know that with the help of all those millions of illegal immigrants that they funneled into our country, if they were able to stay and get citizenship, that would do it. And that is why we're at this point where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, man. We got to take a stance on this one. I don't care what type of chaos they try to create. I don't care what type of perception they try to create in the image of people. I don't care if they like Donald Trump is a dictator. Look what he's doing. He's sitting in the middle. I don't care. And I don't think Trump cares at this point either. This is his last go around. And the people see through this, and we're about to see. And we're also going to see how diabolical these folks are. So let's go. Here we go.
The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
Yeah, and that's the part that I'm really mad about. Yeah, we saw that once USAID was exposed. Once those got in there, we go, what? We paying for what? They funding the money back. You know what? I always knew the government was corrupt, but I didn't know they was that corrupt. So yeah, that's how diabolical these people are. This whole scam. And they're like, you think we gonna pay for that? You think we got the money to be putting these folks up in hotels and fly them all? No. We're gonna let you dummies do it. Yeah, while y'all argue against Trump. And Trump's trying to take over, you know what? And I'm going, we're infested with stupidity. And stupidity is forever. So now, one of the weapons, judicial fair, fair. Yeah, warfare. Yeah, there you go, lawfare, judicial fair. So look at this, guys.
Breaking news. After a federal judge ruled late this afternoon that President Trump must return control of California's National Guard to Governor Gavin Newsom, hours later, a federal appeals court blocked that order.
So the slime ball thought he had a little victory, came out, gave a little victory speech. All of that. Because what they're doing is using one of their weapons. Activist judges. See, they're part of the wheel, part of the circle. We're putting together all of the components that this enabling them to try to pull this mess off. So when in doubt, bring out the activist judges. Since we lost the Senate and the House, we can't do nothing there. We lost all these compromised agencies that we were using. All of these intel communities and all of these holdovers. We lost that. We lost money from USAID. So now what do? We got to implement these activist judges. And what happened? Oh, they got gold-tended. So now, unfortunately, Trump is back in control of course, the military. Or should I say, what are they, when they come in, the National Guard. All right, so now, here we go. Oh, the Dems. Another one of their tools that we got to be aware of. Demonize, law enforcement. See, that's what you got to do. You're supposed to be an official who supports all of the law and the Constitution and our brave men and women who y'all tout when it's convenient. But now all of a sudden, these folks are being demonized. So you can't get folks attacking them if you're praising them, talking about they're brave, talking about they're just doing their job. You can't get folks to attack them if you're doing that. So what we got to do is do what?
We also have a law in the books in Illinois that says that our local law enforcement will stand up for those law-abiding, undocumented people in our state.
Are you kidding me? So now this big box body dude right here, had the nerve to go ahead and put a law together somehow to force the police to defend illegal immigrants. Now, I'm wondering how you can even be a police officer in Chicago. You can't arrest illegals. You can't arrest the young folks who are tearing up stuff. You can't arrest hardly anybody in Chicago unless you're a white Trump supporter. Now, no wonder that mug is being ran like Escape from New York, like Welcome to the Jungle. We got fun and games. Why would you want to arrest anybody when they're going to be out any second? Like the guy who was arrested 4 times and ended up shooting a man. So now here's this guy. Sanctuary policies. You are, basically harboring criminals in your city and in your state.
So we're doing the right thing, and we're not going to help federal officials just drag them away.
Donald, see? Just drag them away. So now, you see? Let me create imagery in the heads of the dummies to make it seem like these dudes are doing something unlawful. They're not just doing their job. They're not removing folks because of safety reasons, and that's how our law is supposed to be executed. No, they're just dragging them away. You see how dirty these people are? See, they make it tough not to hate them.
Trump's modern day Gestapo.
Couldn't even say it. Trump's modern day snapples. So you see Homer Simpson head? This shouldn't even be in politics. You see Tampon Tim, who's the dumbest politician ever. Unbelievable. So now here he is calling our brave men and women Gestapo.
Oh, it's scooping folks up off the streets.
Scooping them
They're in
up.
unmarked vans
Unmarked
wearing
vans,
masks,
yeah.
being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons.
There you
This
go.
is
Now, that dude is a dirtbag. He is one big bag of dirt. And that's offensive to dirt. He just went ahead and demonized the heck out of ICE and all these officials. How can you even serve under a leader like that? If you are part of ICE in his state, I'm going, dude, I gotta move. I mean, if you're a cop in any of these liberal cities and states, how can you do it? I'm surprised they even have law enforcement. That is how bad they suppress the law enforcement and use them the way they want them to. And disrespect them when it's convenient. Throwing them under the bus. Here's another one. Here's another one.
is a level of attack that is was unforeseeable, but it has to be stopped. And we have to raise our voices louder and louder.
It has to be stopped. What has to be stopped? Yeah. ICE coming in, doing their job, removing all of these illegal immigrants that Joe Biden and Mucus and your whole party supported and praised. I think what needs to be stopped is people being burned alive on your subways. That's what I think. Yeah, folks being killed because y'all have illegal immigrants running around your darn countries. So now, let's finish hearing her go ahead and defend all of these criminals and stuff.
If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our because we don't have enough people in our country now to fill the jobs that we have right now.
Well, look at that. That's a reason to go ahead and allow 11 million plus of them to stay. There it is. Because we need these people here to wipe our butts. Democrats. They always somehow reveal that they're still the party of the KKK. They're still the party of slavery. They're still that party. Still the party of racism. Yeah, keep them around to wipe our butts. That's their defense. That's their argument, guys, to keep these people here. So wait a minute. What about the toll it takes on our economy and the jobs and the crime and all this stuff? You know what? That's nothing. Yeah, because who's going to wipe my butt? I don't care about the crime element that comes along with them. The taxes and all of that stuff. Forget that. I need somebody to wipe my butt. And they should be happy to do it. Look, we're letting you come in here to wipe our butts and clean our toilets. Jeez. Stop whining, Felipe. So now look at this, guys. Look at this. So anarchists, their greatest weapon of all is the Marxist media. Yeah, see, all of these elements play a part when it comes down to this anarchy. These are the elements of anarchy. You need the media on your side. You need these raggedy behind activist judges. You need compromised politicians and all of that stuff. So let's see some more of these elements.
Donald Trump, when he was out there on the stump, when he was running for president, the argument he made to the American people was that there were criminals in this country and he was going to prioritize the deportation of those criminals.
Okay, so now you see this? Here it is. This is their greatest weapon, y'all. Oh, yeah. So now, if I'm hearing this, somebody said, define anarchy. Oh, anarchy is when you decide to destabilize the whole country by trying to overthrow our institutions with violence. There it is. We want to tear it all down and rebuild it in our own image, and we're willing to do it through violence, intimidation, basically terroristic tactics, and all of those things. So this lady right here is saying Trump promised to prioritize, but when you prioritize something, does that mean you totally forget about the other part of it? You're just organizing it and saying, look, I'm going to start right here and work my way all the way down. He didn't say he wasn't going to deport all the other ones. He said, I'm prioritizing it. Yeah, so I'm going to prioritize starting to clean this room right here. And then I'll eventually end up in the basement. But she don't know what that means. Apparently in the liberal brain and in the fake news brain, yeah, only people you're supposed to be getting out of here are the ones that are absolutely criminals. But wait a minute, they still get due process. Yeah, you got to put all of them on trial and stuff like that. It'll take forever to get them out if we go the route of the Democrats. So technically, nobody will end up getting deported. So let's continue watching the media work
We had Tom Homan, the border czar, this weekend say to our colleague Jacob Sobroth that they are opening the aperture, that simply having arrived in this country without a legal process means that you are now a criminal. And there's new reporting today.
That's not the law. Simply arrive in this country without the legal We didn't give you permission to come. We didn't invite you. You didn't call first. Dang on it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I take that back. Yes, we did. Under a corrupt, stinking party. The Democrats said to surge. And if I were them, you had to surge the border. So they did actually do that. Set these people up for failure. Let's continue.
Today in the Wall Street Journal says this is all coming from Stephen Miller, which I could have guessed, you could have guessed, but here it is in print. Let me read you just a little. Gang members and violent criminals, what Trump called the worst of the worst, weren't the sole target of deportations.
Did you think they were? You actually think that Trump would just stop after we get rid of the violent ones and the ones that are, criminals? Why would you think that? So wait, let me understand. Y'all really thought that 11 plus million, because that's the bulk. We might have like 800,000, known criminals. But the rest of them, we're supposed to just say, we've done our job. Let them all stay now. Are we stupid? Do we look like we are boo-boo the fools?
Federal agents needed to just go out there and arrest illegal aliens, Miller told top ICE officials. They're showing up at Home Depot.
Yeah. Showing up at Home Depot. Why would we be doing that? Oh, because of a lot of illegal immigrants hanging out at Home Depot trying to get work. What else?
They're showing up at the car wash.
Yeah, because we know where a lot of these illegal immigrants are. You're not able to put that together? See, so basically what these people are advocating for is complete open borders with amnesty and citizenship for all of these people. That's what they want, which would totally turn the tides when it comes down to their power and control over the country. And since we're not doing that, now what they're going to do is try to take it by force.
Showing up at garment factories, people's jobs, at their jobs.
Yeah, people's jobs. Now, me as an American citizen, if the word gets out, the kid broke into a couple houses to enjoy a better life, and I happen to go to work on my job thinking, man, I just came from a nice pool at this house. I just decided to go in for a better life. And all of a sudden, the boys start walking in the job. And I'm going, what are y'all doing in here? What are you doing? You're showing up at my job. Well, yeah, because you're here. And you are a violator of the law. So, of course, we're going to come to your job because that's where you are. These idiots, they're showing up at the places where they...
People on lunch break. There's no one people voted for.
Yeah.
There's no one people voted for.
There's no one people voted for.
Oh, yes, it is. And the polls show it. But you see, these are the folks that come out and they run cover for the Democrat Party. They are the number one element of helping them when it comes down to pulling this off.
Just take a look at some of the illegal monsters who were taken off the streets in Los Angeles in recent days.
You mean the same Los Angeles that was trying to stop ICE from actually getting these people we're about to hear about out of Los Angeles? You mean that Los Angeles? The same Los Angeles that Governor Slimeball and Florida Evans had the nerve to be talking about it's Trump's fault for coming in and getting these people out of here that caused all these riots and stuff. So let's hear about these wonderful, precious, gentle woodland creatures that were deported.
A Vietnamese national, a known gang member with a conviction for second-degree murder.
What?
A Mexican national with convictions for child molestation who was armed with a dangerous weapon.
Wow.
And had previous arrests for robbery and domestic violence.
Oh my.
A Filipino national with convictions of assault, burglary, and theft.
What?
A Mexican national convicted of statutory narcotics violations and hit and run.
Now, you know what I'm a little shocked over? Somebody said, see, Vietnamese, how in the world did you get here from Vietnam? Do you understand the betrayal that the Biden administration did to America? When you have borders so open that people from Vietnam, Africa, India, Asia, all over the world were coming here to take advantage of open season for America. I mean, these are people that you can justify saying, look, man, they walked here from, right down in South America. No, you spent money getting on a plane, coming here because you knew you can get in. You're not going to do that unless you know you can get in, right? See, yeah, they knew it was open season. Man, they betrayed our country so badly. They need to be in prison, honestly. But now here's all these people that the Democrats are mad about and saying Trump and ICE and Gestapo and stuff is coming.
A Nicaraguan national with convictions for domestic violence and hit and run, and a previous arrest for willful cruelty to a child. And an illegal alien from Mexico who was arrested after allegedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at law enforcement officers during the Paramount riots.
So wait a minute. You got illegal immigrants in our country protesting and throwing stuff at ICE. That's how dumb they are. Yeah, I'm not even supposed to be here. Instead of me laying low and hiding and being under the radar, what I'm going to do is start throwing stuff at the police. Yeah, so I can put a big target on my back. Oh, you're here legally too? Great. Yeah, might as well snatch you up. So now look at all these wonderful suspects, suspicious characters that the Democrats were trying to stop ICE from deporting.
On Saturday, he is now being charged with attempted murder.
Yeah.
Law-abiding American citizens do not want these public safety threats living in their communities.
Yes, but Democrats do. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. Law-abiding, common sense Americans don't want this crap. And we also don't want anarchists running the streets, burning stuff, and attacking our society. And I say society because they're not just attacking ICE. They're not just attacking police officers. They are attacking society because they want them to feel the pain too. They want them to go ahead and be bullied into supporting or giving them their way. That's why they're anarchists. They're like, yo, if we can't get the government and the leaders to go ahead and let us have our way, we'll bully the people so bad where the people will demand that leave these people alone. Let them go ahead and overthrow the government. Do whatever they got to do. Just get them off my back. Get them out the street. I'm trying to go to school. I'm trying to go to work. They laying in the middle of the street, throwing bricks at my car.
No matter what Democrats like Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom may claim.
Those
And
two.
let this be an unequivocal message to left-wing radicals in other parts of the country who are thinking about copycatting the violence in an effort to stop this administration's mass deportation effort.
Copycatting, and that is what they are about to do. They're about to launch a attack on our country in these cities. Rest assured, and we're now getting the tremors. See, this is tomorrow, y'all. They've been preparing for this. They're like, whoa, Trump's doing a little parade. All right, here's what we're gonna do. So now, let's see.
Efforts. You will not succeed.
Clarify what kind of protest President Trump does support or find acceptable.
Now see, here we go. The media. These are the advocates. I thought, what kind of protest do President Trump support or find, acceptable? I mean, he's a king, isn't he? He's a dictator. He shouldn't have the only ones that praise him. Oh, Trump, like Kim Jong-un, where they be crying and stuff when he comes out. That's what Trump wants, right?
The president absolutely supports peaceful protests. He supports the First Amendment. He supports the right of Americans to make their voices heard. He does not support violence of any kind. He does not support assaulting law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job.
And you would think that reporter would know that. But they want to pretend that Trump got some, evil dictator ideas. He's sitting back like, man, I don't like no protests that don't agree with what I'm trying to do. Only MAGA protests, which I do. I like when we don't protest. We celebrate. That's the difference. We come out to support and celebrate.
It's very clear for the president what he supports and what he does not. Unfortunately for Democrats, that line has not been made clear, and they've allowed this unrest and this violence to continue, and the president has had to step in.
And that is exactly the line in the sand that we have to convey to all of those Americans that are just watching from afar. I had to just talk to my neighbor before I came in to do the show. And I hipped him to the game real quick. And he's like, I see it. I see it. See, somebody who maybe don't have the time or the capacity to be, watching and following this like I do. But once you understand the package that they put together and what they're trying to do, I gave it to him just in a couple seconds. And he was like, I see it. I see it. I'm like, good. Don't be deceived by them getting on TV. Trump is
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade,
then where was all of that? There were peaceful protests.
President Trump would allow that.
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
Thank you. You got to treat them just like that. And then move on. You idiot. Of course course he supports the peaceful protest. That's what a stupid question. What else? Here's another dumb media person.
He realizes they can't actually arrest people unless he invokes the Insurrection Act, which, I mean, seemingly was not something that was in Secretary No's memo. A clear distinction she did not make there.
Again, you're trying to conflate a letter that was sent to the Department of Homeland Security to the president's legal authority. The president understands the legal authority that he invoked, and that's the current situation right now.
Now understand what the media is doing. They are more interested in these agitators, these anarchists, than they are ICE getting these criminals out of here. They're making sure that all of a sudden these people have the right to protest without being and this and that. And they're trying to make it appear that these people are all peaceful and they only become violent when Trump shows up. Now, Trump wouldn't have to send anybody in there if they were peaceful. See, that's the element that they seem to not be able to sell to people with common sense. Why in the world, if these things were peaceful, would Trump need to send in the National Guard and the Marines? So you're telling me they were all minding their business peaceful and Trump just said, well, let's just send in the National Guard and Marines? Or could it be that you guys have planned this? You guys have said, let's create a scenario where it appears that Trump is sending in the military because he's a dictator. But the only way we can get him to do that is send out anarchists to bait him into doing it. Now, Trump knows what they're doing, but he's still going to do what he has to do to lock this mess down. And I don't care how many dictators they call him. I'm like, hey, gotta do what we gotta do. So let's continue blowing the media up.
When it comes to federalizing the National Guard, what is the specific criteria that the president is using for when he's deciding to do that?
Dummies that are blowing up stuff, throwing Molotov cocktails at people, all the stuff we've seen on videos that your network was showing while y'all were lying to us. We're sitting here watching all of the chaos on the screen next to you that they're mostly peaceful protests. Y'all couldn't even find clips where they were peacefully protesting. Y'all were, showing the worst clips. That's all we got. That's the best of the worst right there. But we're going to get up here and tell everyone mostly peaceful protests. Stuff like that would make you have to feel like you need to send in the National Guard, you big dummy.
And in which states?
The president was asked and answered this yesterday. He wants to see an end to the chaos and the violence. He doesn't want to see law enforcement officers being attacked. He wants to see peace. He wants law-abiding Californians to be able to bring their kids to school, to be able to go to work without seeing this violence in the streets. That's what the president's hoping for, and that's why he's taking this action.
Now, all of that, what she just said, is something any red-blooded American can appreciate. Yeah, but the media can't let you see that because that's Trump's pure intentions. That's what should be happening. But no, they got to make you be suspicious about his motives. Yeah, look at that. He's doing a parade with the military. He's sending in the military. That's dictator behavior right there. See, notice we've been lying to notice we were telling you for like the last 4 years he's going to be a dictator on day one. Remember we was telling y'all that? Huh? See, he's doing it. He's doing it. Let's continue though.
You're saying the majority have not been peaceful. The majority have been violent.
I just read for you the arrest numbers. We've arrested.
Are you saying the majority have not been peaceful, but the majority have been violent? Of course they've been violent. That's what it was designed to be that way. How are you going to get the National Guard in there if you're not violent? How are you going to get the Marines in there if you're not violent? So now let's go ahead and finish dealing with the media.
Arrested nearly 400 illegal aliens alone, just illegal aliens who have been arrested in these riots since June.
So now you got American anarchists that's tearing up stuff and illegal immigrants out there acting a fool and got their butts arrested.
June 6th since they began.
Thousands of people on the streets.
Yeah, and we've had hundreds of people who have assaulted law enforcement officers. Are you saying that that's that's appropriate behavior? Are you saying that
I'm trying to figure out.
the Democrat governor and the Democrat mayor of Los Angeles have failed their citizens?
Failed their citizens. And all you have to do to realize where all the chaos is coming from and to make a informed decision on which party you would support is just think about, hey, all of these people we're seeing doing this, who do you think they would vote for? Who are the people that is not defining them for what they are? Who are the people that is running cover for them and softening their intentions? Who are the people doing that? Make the connection. So now, here we go, y'all. Violence.
It's escalating Sunday as thousands of protesters took to the streets in response to President Donald Trump's extraordinary deployment of the California National Guard.
There's a very
extraordinary deployment. See what the media is doing? See how they package it up and drop it out there to their people? It's extraordinary. No, his common sense approach to stopping chaos.
Big, stark demarcation between military troops and law enforcement, public law enforcement, civilian law enforcement.
Well, see, you know what? Big dummy, Sonny the dummy. We wouldn't have to send the military and law enforcement in and stuff like that if Gavin the nuisance would have actually allowed the police to do their job. But we just got word, y'all, from a policeman out there in LA that they told the police to stand back. Let it all unfold. Let it get chaotic to where Trump got to say, let me send some people in there to stop it. Yeah, that's the word on the street. See, yeah. So since those Democrats weren't doing their job, Trump had to send in people to do it for him. And here's Sonny the dummy.
And you are an army turned inside to police its citizens can cause chaos, fascism, and
You see, always go straight to fascism. So wait, let me understand this. They're coming in to be turned on their own citizens. What did they do to the citizens? That's my question. Did they do anything to the citizens that weren't doing stuff to them? That followed commands and things like that? Did they just come in and say, you know what, we're just going to start snatching these people up randomly and throw them in a slammer? Or did they deal with the people who were causing all the chaos? Sonny the dummy.
fascism. And so I think
always
that's
fascism.
the way, and civil war. I think that's
so,
the way.
God, look at that. You see the predator? You see the predator right there, like, civil war. First of all, y'all don't want those kind of problems. Y'all on the left do not want no civil war problems. They ain't want it from us. But nonetheless, there is whoopee cushion, rocks in the voice, civil war.
Way we need to look at it.
There's a large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into.
What did I just say? Did you hear that bit of propaganda? Greatest asset to the Democrats, the media. That man just said, don't send law enforcement in there because you might agitate people who are having fun watching cars burn. Can you believe that man should be fired immediately? Here we go.
Is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burning.
That's all it was. You ain't never been to a car burning party? You ain't never been to one of those? Here we are, having a good time in the middle of the street, burning up cars, and the cops come to ruin our fun. Man, y'all always hating on us. We up here just burning some cars up, got some marshmallows out, warming our hands up, and then y'all got the nerve to come talk about, hey, you can't be burning people's cars up in public. Thank you. Somebody said, love your podcast. Thank you so much. Yeah, so you see the obvious nonsense. They cannot even hide it from common sense people. That is how obvious they are fighting to change the narrative and push this narrative by the Democrats. That's how obvious it is, to where that man just told us that we should not send the military or authorities in it because we might make them become a little agitated during their car burning party. They're just having fun.
To a massive confrontation.
I know our time. I know you live in LA. I literally left Los Angeles Sunday night.
And didn't see nothing?
What is happening?
So basically you're out there like, yes, I like to thank all of the people of the world. Ma chérie, amour. You out there like Stevia. You out there like Ray. I guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. If you didn't see this
in Los Angeles and the way it is being depicted is not accurate. We're talking about a square mile out of a 500 square mile city.
So, a square mile of complete, condensed, compact chaos. And you're talking about that just because it wasn't spread over the whole city, we should overlook it.
Most people are not experiencing it the way we are showing it on television. And I think we have to be very careful because there are not riots in the streets.
Oh my God. I mean, this is absolutely fascinating to see their participation in this. prostituting themselves big time.
Some bad actors, and they need to be held accountable. But we have to be careful with the language you use, because if we say riots, we call
because if we call it for what it is, the rest of the Americans that are in the middle trying to figure out what's going on would immediately go, well, this is a mess. Yeah, Trump should send people in to stop this. This is crazy. Somebody need to do something. So we can't do that. Our assignment is to come out and soften the blow. Our assignment is to come out and make excuses for it. Talk about it's not really what you see. Do you see the game? You see the coordinated effort and all the elements of anarchy?
Unnecessary fear, and the real fear is when military people start flooding our streets unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's the real fear. Not the people burning down stuff, throwing bricks into cars and stuff like that, breaking in the stores. That's not the real fear. It's the military coming in and stopping those people.
In my first ever real story.
Now, my boy Dr. Phil is about to break it down. You know it's bad. When they done drove Dr. Phil from being a TV psychiatrist to now a political pundit that is exposing the fake news.
A few months ago, I said unapologetically, I have come to the conclusion that a bunch of so-called journalists in the legacy media have decided that you are...
Look at that. He called them out and put them on the screen. MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, ABC, CBS, NBC. And they think that we are what, Dr. Phil?
You're stupid.
Stupid? Well, I ain't stupid. I know what my eyes saw.
Stupid, I tell you. Apparently, that was an understatement. What's these images from Los Angeles?
Here, let me see them. Let me see them. Oh, that's a mostly peaceful explosion. There you go. Hey, isn't that the American flag?
PD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
They shoot.
You think this is peaceful? Now, look.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Thank you for going ahead and calling out one of the elements of anarchy. Yeah, the fake news. Do you think that's peaceful?
Look, pictures don't lie. Your eyes don't deceive you, but the media does. CNN's Dana Bash, well, she compares this madness to what happened in LA in 1992.
Show us, Dr. Phil. Show us Dana Trash.
What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now.
So
I
different.
mean, that was a real riot.
A real riot.
Yes, this isn't a real riot. MSNBC interviewing California Representative Judy Chu, a Democrat, who calls this a, quote, manufactured crisis.
Manufactured crisis. They always use that when it comes down to us identifying and calling out the stuff that the Democrats are doing that's obvious. Because they have no governor. They have no temperance. They don't know how far to go. They always go too far. And they get to a point where it becomes a crisis and everybody recognizes it. And what they do is just go right out here and use one of their elements of anarchy to tell everybody, it's not really a crisis. It's a manufactured crisis. That border is not open. It's closed. There's no crisis at the border. That's Trump making a manufactured crisis. But yet we see of people walking in every day. Every day. One of the elements of anarchy. We need the media. How are we going to be anarchists and overthrow the way of life here in America without the media lying to the people? Let's continue. Dr. Phil's calling them out.
What does that even mean? This crisis isn't manufactured. MSNBC's news coverage is manufactured.
Oh, yes. Manufactured.
That's what's manufactured.
You have outliers that throw things and cause damage. And so, yes, the LAPD came in and they called it an unlawful assembly.
Outliers that come in and who are those outliers with? Isn't that odd that somehow all the time when Democrats have protesters come in there, the anarchists feel comfortable showing up in their crowds? Now, I'm a little amazed by that. We don't see these anarchists until Democrats encourage people to come out and so-called peacefully protest. And the anarchists always feel comfortable blending in with their crowd. Now, isn't that crazy? Let's see. We're going to find out what these anarchists are up to and how they're able to pull together these resources in a second.
She apparently had no idea that on her split screen were burning cars set ablaze by outliers.
Yeah, by outliers. Yeah, those are just few far in between, even though we got 3 or 4 or 5 cars in a row burning. I could see one, but there was like 5 of them. And here she is. That's not what is going on. Those are outliers.
While she's talking, they're showing, well, it just didn't seem to go with her rhetoric at the time. MSNBC again.
It's actually relatively mellow, even though it might not seem that way. It's like a sort of...
Right now, it doesn't seem that way. You see them working hard for their money? You see them right now with all their red dresses on in the red light district. Skirts up, fishnet, stockings on. Walking around talking about anybody want to have some fun. They are straight prostituting themselves. I mean, actually, in spite of what you see, it's been relatively calm. I mean, do I really look this stupid? Yes, you do. Y'all can't even find the peaceful clips. So you got to show the violent clips and lie to us. Talking about that in spite of what you see.
You know, another thing that happens at protests like this is that they sort of settle into almost like a celebratory atmosphere.
That's what it is. It's a celebration. A celebration of fireworks being shot at the police, bricks being thrown at them, cars being burned. That's a celebration. Now, these people should be ashamed of themselves. And it is so obvious that they are an extension of the anarchists. So let's continue.
Celebratory atmosphere. The third one is the charm from MSNBC.
Most of the crowds, again, that I saw, that I spoke to, that I was interacting with, these are peaceful people that want to get their message across. They brought signs. They're out with families in some places.
Great place to take kids. I don't think so.
Yeah, Dr. Phil is sick and tired of that bullcrap coming out the media, calling it out. There was families and they're out there like a Chevy Chase and Holiday Road. Yeah, they all came to see Wally's World and stopped by the protest just to go ahead and say, you know what, we just want to be a part of something nice. Nobody that is not interested in chaos would have shown up down there.
The headlines, same story. CNN. Trump seizes on Los Angeles protest in contentious use of military amid migrant crackdown.
There you go. You see that framing? They want Trump, the bad guy. That's what they've been waiting on. How are we going to push the narrative that Trump is abusing his power and he's an authoritative dictator if we can't get him to send in the military? So now, we're going to go ahead and frame it like this.
Trump escalates his battle with California. LA Times. Trump wants LA to set itself on fire. Let's rebel smarter. Well, a little too late to rebel smarter. LA is already on fire.
Yeah.
And for what reason? Yeah. Because ICE made 45 arrests, including a 55-year-old illegal resident from the Philippines.
That's what they were fighting for, guys. Yep. Yeah. Gavin Newsom and Florida Evans Afro had the nerve to be mad that ICE was in there deporting. They don't even ask who you're deporting. Soon as ICE show up deporting anybody, these folks show up. Miraculously. They always know where ICE is going to be. They show up. They don't say, well, excuse me, wait a minute. What's the rap sheet on these people? Are these dangerous ones or are these the other ones? They don't care about that. That is why the Democrats would rather all illegal immigrants stay, because they ain't got time to be sifting through and finding out which ones are the bad ones and which ones are... They ain't got time for that. They ain't got time for that. We'll work that out later on when they commit crimes. So when ICE show up, the first priority is just to stop ICE, disrupt them. Don't even ask, what type of animals are you deporting? So let's see the type of animals that these protesters were defending.
Who was this charmer? He was convicted of burglary, sexual penetration with a foreign object, and assault with intent to commit rape.
Wow.
And a Mexican national with a rap sheet that includes shooting up a house and vehicle with people inside, battery on a...
With people inside. Yeah, look at that hombre. He got the bicycle mustache. He looked like the stereotypical Cheech and Chong Mexican. Hey, Holmes, how you doing? Can't believe you say something like that about me. Yeah, so let's continue looking at all these wonderful people that the Democrats want to keep in their city.
Spouse or cohabitant, willful cruelty to a child, driving under the influence, and assault with a semi-automatic firearm.
What? That sounds like Kilmar Garcia's rap sheet. But the Democrats don't care. They don't, before they unleash the mob, they don't stop to say, well, wait a minute. We don't want to look stupid protesting to save all these criminals. So could you tell us who you're getting first? No, they don't care. Yeah, we don't want you taking none of them.
An illegal alien from Vietnam with a criminal history that includes a conviction for second-degree murder. The list goes on. Look, this was not a witch hunt to round up Abuela Maria. It's law enforcement getting criminals off the street.
Yeah, see, and they wonder why folks are leaving those S-hole-ran Democrat cities. Nobody wants to be a part of that right there. If you're that liberal and that woke where you're able to subject yourself to these potential dangers, you deserve it. You get what you deserve.
So what does the left do? Encourages everyone to become criminals by blocking freeways, setting fires, throwing rocks, destroying city property, and attacking federal agents.
Thank you for calling this out, Dr. Phil. That's what they do. Hey, now, chill out. Now, you see the type of people on this screen right here? Do they look like, law-abiding citizens? They look like they all got mental issues. They're young, they're impressionable, and they probably would take a few $100 so they can get out there and tear stuff up. Can you imagine being a young person and they say, we're going to pay you to destroy stuff? What? So I can tear stuff up and not go to jail? Absolutely. How much I get? $200. I'm on it. I'm all on it. Let me go ahead and put goggles on and look at this liberal screaming for no reason. Don't even know why they're there. Let me go ahead, put mask on and all of this stuff to come out and peacefully protest? Odd method of peacefully protesting.
Might as well hold up a sign that says, I'm a violent criminal. Please arrest me. And do you think this unrest is limited to Los Angeles? Well, think again.
And here we go. This is where the rubber meets the road. Because guess what? We are now witnessing a coordinated attack coming together to stop the momentum of deporting these people and to stifle ICE. They are now at that point where we got to go full steam ahead. Full out press of agitators and folks all over, and liberal SO-ran states and cities though. They make sure they cherry pick those. They know the right places to go. But we need y'all to act a complete fool all at once. We want to take away from Trump and his parade with the military. We want to create such chaos that Trump might even have to stop what he's doing and be like, what's going on? We got an emergency where? All over the place? All right, sorry guys, we got to shut down the parade because we got a situation. That's what these folks are trying to create. Boy, I tell you, man, I almost want to be deputized. Honestly, thought who's willing to go down there and me?
Flash to Dallas. Hundreds gathered downtown Monday night in solidarity with LA protesters. They chanted, abolish ICE.
Abolish ICE. There you go. These are the images of Democrat voters. These are the things that they are chanting. Just like abolish the police. And they think for some reason we're going to forget about all of their minions and what they really want. Talking about abolishing ICE after we just saw that list of criminals that ICE went and got out of there.
Waved Mexican and Palestinian flags, lit firecrackers, and held signs like "End mass deportations."
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, don't even lift up the American flag. Why would you do that? You're an anarchist. You hate the country. Every country comes before America. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that they are hoping all of the Americans with common sense is going to jump on board with. You turn on your TV and you see these fools down there with American flag, Mexican flags, Iranian flags, or whoever else, Palestinian flags. You go turn that crap off. You think I want to see that and be a part of this mess?
And immigrants make America great again. Police shut down.
Immigrants, not Americans, make America great again. Immigrants. And this is supposed to appeal to the masses, and you wonder why Democrats' ratings are in the tank.
On the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge, declared an unlawful assembly.
Unlawful assembly. Now, who provoked these people? Right about now, they're just doing this for GP. ICE isn't down there. So now you see, if people were reporting the narrative properly, these protests are being positioned all over the place, and ICE ain't got nothing to do with this one. They're like, yo, something's going on out there in LA. Well, let's act a fool here. But wait a minute, ICE is not even here and the military is not down there. Then why are we doing this? Because we're anarchists. This is our license to ill.
Hired pepper balls to push crowds back. The real story? This isn't just about immigration. It's about media betrayal. This isn't just protest anymore. Everybody has the right to protest. That's one of the things that makes this country such a wonderful place to be.
Yeah, but see, they're taking advantage of it. Yeah, they come in under the guise of protest / anarchists. See, protest anarchists. That's what they are. It sounds like some type of Greek word. Protest anarchists. There you go. The liberals are from the species protest anarchists. That's what they are. So now you got all these protest anarchists out there talking about we're just here to protest with our mask on and stuff like that.
This is a movement fed by media distortions and open hostility toward any effort to enforce the law. Abolish ICE? What's that, like defund the police? What does that even mean?
Yeah, they don't care. It sounds cool. We're fighting against the system. Tear it down, man. Abolish ICE. Yeah, okay, so how about we unleash all of those suspects in your neighborhood? So let's continue though.
What does it look like when you abolish ICE?
They don't know.
We just don't have borders anymore?
Yeah, they don't think that through. You think liberals think that through? You think these useful idiots out there, this yelling about ICE and doing all that stuff, you think they think any of this through? No. That's why they're there, because they don't think they do.
We just absorb everybody that wants to come? And who's pushing that? People that live in gated neighborhoods, people that don't deal with overstressed infrastructure.
Get them, Dr. Phil. Man, you are earning points in my eyes, bro.
Schools. Take a look at this MSNBC so-called journalist making a case that there's nothing wrong with coming and staying in the U.S. illegally.
No, she didn't.
There are more people of color.
No, he didn't. It might as well be a she, because that dude needs some bass in the voice.
So now here he is outside of Home Depot, and he got a problem when ICE showed up at Home Depot, collected all those illegal immigrants that be hanging out at Home Depot harassing people for work.
That live in Los Angeles than white people at this point.
You hear that? It's more folks that...
So you're supposed to sell us on that? By saying that there's more illegal immigrants,
the people of color living out of the LA than the white people at this point.
Boy, I hate to be a white person out there, unless I'm suffering from white guilt. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm white. You trying to, to replace us? You trying to act like this is stupidity that they always come with. That there's more that.
And many of those people are undocumented. Those people are our neighbors, our coworkers, our classmates, our friends, our parishioners.
That ain't none of my classmates and neighbors. And if I had a whole house of illegal immigrants living next to me, I have a problem with it. I'll be like, hey, I enjoy the Mexican food and all and stuff like that, but hey, you're not supposed to be here. So give me that taco and then get to stepping. There you go. One for the road. There you go. Your Tocatito Taco Bell.
Fellow parishioners and churches, they are part of the fabric of the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff you want to tell dummies. Now, don't look at it for what it is. Look at these people as your neighbors, your friends, pretty much American citizens. Because I'm a extension of anarchy. They need people like me to prostitute myself to convince dummies. Let's continue.
The media isn't just rewarding bad behavior by sugarcoating it, encouraging it. They're actually saying, hey, this is hating criminals. They're lying to viewers, even though the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, and that's the most disrespectful part of it all, Dr. Phil. Yeah, man, they are straight peeing down your back and telling you it's rainwater. And I know pee from rainwater. They ain't gonna, I know you're wrong when I smell it. Let's continue.
Look, here's the thing. If you really disagree with Trump, protest peacefully or go home.
But that ain't their style. Yeah, that ain't their style. See, they've been waiting for their chance to come out and do this. So, and they're like, what do you mean protest peacefully? And why do you think I'm dressed in all black with this mask on? I want some violence.
You have the right to protest. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to carry your signs. You have the right to chant your slogans. But when you start attacking agents, when you start attacking vehicles, when you start setting things on fire, you make a bad situation way, way worse.
Which brings us to the rubber that meets the road. What are we going to do? Because look at the coordinated attack They're trying to flood the system. They are preparing to overwhelm these areas. And the question becomes, what are going to be the consequences for these people? See, it's one thing to just dress up in your riot gear. You go out there with your shields on, couple rubber bullets, and these people know that it's limited consequences. Yeah, we got numbers on our side. We're gonna be throwing stuff. We're gonna be running. We're gonna be doing all of this stuff. See, it's one thing to go out there like that and they go, these folks got orders not to go too far. Not to go too far. So we can go ahead and push it. Versus, how can we produce some serious consequences that will shut this mess down? And I think we might have a solution, y'all. So let's continue.
Before we go, I want to tell you this. This is why mainstream media viewership has tanked. If you want the truth, you need to look for the truth. Find it, demand it. It's out there.
Yeah, but the dummies can't see it. Right in their faces.
You need to cut through the legacy media noise. Don't you want to know what's really going on?
No, not them. La, 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 la. You're a fascist. But I'm trying to tell you the truth. I mean, these are facts. So what, you're a white supremacist? But I'm black. So what, you're a black white supremacist?
Now, some of these networks, it's the reason I refer to them as legacy media, have been around for a long, long time. I was on one of them for over 2 decades. That does not mean they're telling you the truth. It does not.
What? So just because you've been in a relationship for 2 years, that don't mean that you won't be lied to. That's what he's saying. Yeah, it could have been 2 years of an abusive, lying relationship. That's exactly what's been going on. But hey, we're in a relationship, though. You do trust me with all my lies, don't you, honey? Yes.
Not mean they're giving you the facts. You, me, all of us, we aren't stupid.
No.
We truly aren't. We know what we see.
Yeah.
And I have a strong belief that people know the truth when they see it.
And guess what? The polls are showing that too. Trump is still popular with this issue right here. And the Democrats are too blind to see it.
Know the truth when they hear it. The real truth. Not what the mainstream media wants us to believe.
Yeah, that arm of the anarchy. That stuff that we just saw. So the media is one element. What else? What else? Okay, let's see. We got to find out what the other elements are. Because you can't just have an anarchist movement like this with all of these resources without somebody coordinating this. We need to find out another arm of anarchy. Let's see. Here we go. What's this? Oh, shoot.
Following the potential money trail of the chaos in Los Angeles, Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he is launching
Santa Ana, California. How in the world are these protests spreading across the country like this, y'all? What is this? I thought this was just confined to one block in LA. Now they're in Santa Ana. Why are they there? Is ICE there that we don't know about?
An investigation trying to find out if left-wing groups with deep pockets are helping to support those violent anti-ICE
There it is.
Spontaneous at all. They're about as authentic as AstroTurf. They are bought and paid for flash mobs. And I want to know who's doing the buying and the paying. That's why today I've launched an investigation. We've all seen the videos of vans driving up, handing out gas masks right before somebody blows up a car.
So wait a minute. We're finally getting smart. Because under the Trump administration the first time, with the corrupt FBI agent, for whatever reason, they weren't able to find out how all of those big pallets of bricks were being showing up in cities. They weren't able to figure out all of these big buses that were bringing these people. They couldn't get the license plate. I mean, FBI, they was just bewildered. They had no idea. Yeah, the video that I saw where that lady had a U-Haul just passing out shields, riot gear, things like that. They couldn't figure her out. No facial recognition. You're able to find all of the people at J6, but couldn't identify that lady handing out riot gear out of that U-Haul. Couldn't figure that out. Yeah, cops. I saw a cop car. The couple police officers bring a big pallet of bricks. I mean, I was fascinated that they could not trace that stuff. But now we got us a new regime, and so maybe we'll get to the source, the puppet masters behind all of this.
It's time we found out, where's the money coming from? Who's really behind this? I think the American people deserve answers.
Take a look at this photo right over here. We have an individual that was captured driving a pickup truck. He shows up at one of the riots and then starts unloading a bunch of riot gear.
Well, look at that. Look at that. Huh. And there are media folks out there just trying to tell us this is organic. These aren't paid protesters. This isn't organized. You're making it up. So now, I guess this, kind citizen just happened to be riding by with all of this stuff in his car and said, you guys look like you could, use some riot gear. Sure, we weren't thinking about that, but since you're offering it, why not?
Masks, shields, you name it. Well, obviously, this was a little bit suspicious. It was raising some red flags. Who the hell is this guy?
Let's find out.
Well, we got him. And it turns out that he's not just some random guy off the street. No, the reports are currently indicating that he is affiliated with Local 399, a Southern California chapter of the Teamsters for a Democratic Union.
Oh, heck no. So the union out there in Cali is sending in to assist with the anarchy because, of course, I'm pretty sure they want to keep the Democrats in power and that cheap labor coming. So they sent this dude out there. So that's one down. That's one person that we should be following the money trail to get. Let's see.
CNN reports that the protests are spreading to cities across the country.
Spreading to cities across the country? Yeah, just organically. So let me see. We got San Francisco, Los Angeles, Santa Ana, Dallas, Louisville. Where else? Atlanta, Georgia, and New York. Now, how is this possible? That's what I'm wondering. How are these things spreading across in liberal cities? Not liberal states per se, but even in conservative states, they know how to pick the right city. Now, we can't be out there in a strong red district. Let's go to somewhere like Atlanta, where all the liberals live, and we'll act up there.
Ooh, it's a grassroots revolution. No, again, it's left-wing terrorism. It's the Tesla terrorism 2.0.
Yeah.
Hi. Something?
Oh, here we go. And see, this is where you expose what these people are about. First of all, they're all weird. All weird. Weirdos. Yeah. I'm not even going to go ahead. I'm just going to call it for what it is. Nerds. You see all these weirdos.
Just documenting you guys putting all your protest stuff in a van. It's very nice of you. How far did you travel to come to protest today?
Yeah, where'd they get that van? Who rented that van? And why they got all their protest gear in that van? And you see her trying to block us from seeing that van?
That's not really your concern. I'm just a journalist,
Are you with the news agency?
Yeah, in that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any questions that I can answer you?
Yeah, where do you guys come from today?
We live here in the DC area.
Then when you have a van full of stuff, people
Well, you might
wearing
know
masks.
there's a road here.
Yeah,
the roads are great for transporting things.
Yeah, you're trying to get us with sarcasm, snarkiness. But you know why we're asking that question. Yeah, if somebody said very mannish. Very mannish. I thought that too. I thought it was just me for a second though. I'm like, now this person got a little too much bass in the voice. I expected to hear a little more treble. But it was like, why are you, can I answer some questions for you? Very mannish. Unlike this guy. You see that guy right there? With that peak on in his hand, on his hip, like this. You see that right there? Looking over the shoulder like that right there. With that black mask on. Yeah, see, so while he's treble, she's bass.
Just, I can videotape on a sidewalk, so.
No, I'm not stopping you from videotaping.
Yeah, I'm not going to interrupt you guys and just.
I'm just trying to understand.
Look at that,
It's
guys.
interesting you guys are putting everything in a van.
Oh, yeah. Get in the way. Get in the way. Because this is all organic, not planned. Yeah, so now, you see them trying to block all of that stuff? Yeah, they don't want us to track and find out who's delivering that stuff. How many more masks y'all need? Yes, let's call the evil emperor up. Yes, this is the evil emperor. Trump is an anomaly that will disappear in 2020. So let's continue.
You're getting really mad about it. That looks really suspicious.
I'm just trying to make sure that you have, all the answers that you would.
Are you guys paid?
So.
How much did Soros or Reid Hoffman pay you to come protest Trump today?
Yeah.
Was it good? Did you get paid well? I'm a journalist, so but yeah, how much you...
And look at all the weirdos trying to block. Yeah, look at all the weirdos. And we're supposed to get on board with their protests. We're supposed to be able to identify with these people and think that these people are common sense Americans that don't hate the country and aren't extremely radical and liberal and willing to do all kind of stuff to tear it all down.
How much are you guys getting paid? Do you guys have fun?
Oh wait, how much are they paying you? How much are they paying you?
Journalist. My pay doesn't matter. I'm here to document the rally.
Okay, well, the rally is over.
So do you guys get paid today? Oh, you don't want me to get the license
Oh
plate?
yeah, why are you blocking that license plate? Well, y'all are quick to dox people. Y'all are quick to bust out your cameras. Now we got the camera on y'all. Now we want to take a look. What you doing, man? Why are you all up in the front of the license plate, skinny man?
Why? Why? Because I don't know. If you guys are like a legitimate crowd.
He need to go ahead and take some of that fur off his face and patch it right up there for that open stadium. Transport that fur up to the open stadium. Yeah, you got it reversed, buddy.
That's rude. You shouldn't be worried about it, but someone's funding you, clearly.
This is something that the Department of Justice and the FBI is looking into. Who is funding these protesters? We've seen, the ads put up on Craigslist offering people thousands of dollars a week to.
$1,000 a week? Now you do realize, guys, when they find out the organizations or the people that is financing this type of chaos, I want to see some consequences. I don't want to see them just come out and say, this is the organization. This is the person. I want to see, and we are bringing them in for questioning and investigations because they are trying to undermine our society by paying off people to become full-blown, violent, chaotic anarchists. You think these people got the resources the way they look to do this on their own? So I want to get to the top of who's the people pulling the strings and what are the consequences?
Go out and conduct these violent and dangerous riots in the streets of not only Los Angeles, but we saw earlier in Chicago and New York and other.
Now see how it's spreading? Just organically, guys. Chicago, where all of these mayors are just so happen to be talking about, these are our people, we're going to go ahead and support them and protect them regardless. Just so happened to be in areas where Democrat propagandists are out there talking about we need to fight against ICE and we need to go out and let our voices be heard, aka violence.
Other cities across the country. And ultimately, again, what the Democrats are advocating for is this continued lawlessness on our streets.
Yeah.
And once again, insulting the intelligence of the American people, saying, don't believe what your eyes see.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. That's what they're telling us. Don't believe the hype. And I'm going, no, I believe the hype because my eyeballs are seeing it.
Very clearly is happening. Just listen to us when we tell you nothing to see here, just peaceful protests. The American people are not as stupid as these Democrats.
As the Democrats think we are. That's the most offensive part about it. So you see this liberal right now who's about to probably do some time and come out of money because she's walking around with her mask on. And, I guess she done did some anarchy that day, and now she's in
Democrats are trying to make us out to be.
And attempting to infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi.
Uh-oh. Now, they done picked the wrong time to unleash the chaos. This is not Trump 1.0. This is Trump 2.0. We don't have all those deep state holdovers and all of these folks that's in the intel community undermining Trump. We seem to can't figure out nothing, Mr. President. We don't know where it's coming from. We got folks now that want to get to the bottom of some things. And we got common sense to know that this is not organic. So listen to Trump.
Department of Justice, who it is, they're already on it. Who's financing all this equipment?
Good question.
Very professional.
The president said yesterday that paid insurrectionists were behind or involved in...
Somebody said, good luck with that, Pam. I really do hope that they follow through and get to the bottom of this. It can't be that hard, guys. I mean, all you got to do is catch one of these people that's driving those vans and sweat them. Do you think they're willing to do about 5 years for whatever agency is, supplying them? You don't think they would rat? Here I am with a truckload of stuff to help anarchists. And then they catch me and say, okay, so you're the guy there. That's what you're telling me. You're the person that gave them gear to start a full-blown riot? Cool. We're going to go ahead and prosecute you. Wait, whoa. All right, I'm not the real guy. Oh, really? Who's the real guy? There are some people that, see, that's all you got to do. These people aren't built tough. You don't think they were rat? They're all soft. So I want to know, who are these people? And it shouldn't be that hard to find out. Do I need to go ahead and be deputized?
The protests in Los Angeles. Does the White House have any more details about who they believe is paying these?
Yeah, the president spoke about this last night when he returned from Fort Bragg, because frankly, the president has a lot of common sense. And if you look at some of the imagery that we have received from the Department of Homeland Security and ICE and law enforcement who are on the ground, you will see boxes and boxes of very professionalized masks and rioting equipment being dropped off for these protesters. So it's a good question the president is raising, and one we are looking into, about who is funding these insurrectionists and these rioters and these protesters and these illegal criminals. And I have updates for you on the numbers, by the way, since June 6th.
Oh, the numbers. I like the numbers, but the media doesn't. The media doesn't want to hear these numbers. See, and what's crazy about this is that the media should be trying to figure out who is financing this. They don't want to know that. They have no intellectual curiosity about who's behind all of this. Yeah, they want to pretend to be dumb and think that, hey, these people are just showing up, minding their business, and the only reason they got all carried away is because Trump, and he's going heavy-handed on them. So soon as he went heavy-handed, all of this gear just appeared out of nowhere. There it is. They didn't have it when they came. It just, appeared out of nowhere. So now, let's go ahead and listen to the media have to sit here and listen to how stupid they sound supporting this anarchy.
There have been 330 illegal aliens that have been arrested as part of these riots in Los Angeles. 113 of those illegal aliens had prior criminal convictions. And overall, and this includes arrests of American citizens, there's been 157 people arrested for assault and obstruction-related charges, including the attempted murder of a police officer with a Molotov cocktail. So who is funding these illegal aliens who are coming in with this very professional riot gear? It's a question everyone in this room who cares about truth should be asking. And we encourage—
that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. You think these folks who we just watched lied to us about what was going on are going to be trying to, out the people that they probably work for too? Yeah, they're all in it together. They are simply an extension of anarchy. They're one of the elements of it.
Your help in trying to get to the bottom of that question. Indeed.
Oh, y'all. So here it comes. These are some of the tactics that they use. Disrupt citizens. Not just ICE. Okay, that ain't gonna do it, man. We gotta put the pressure on folks who's minding their business. Like this black woman right here. Look, watch this. Now you see these two white liberals who probably think they are so woke and in touch with African history and the ancestors and the indigenous people. So that man with that man bun and that white liberal is over here blocking this black woman from getting to work. If you could just move out the way. That's all this black woman wants, but you shut your mouth, black woman. We're white liberals. We trump your blackness.
How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing?
This is peace. With us yelling and blocking traffic. This is peace. You shut your mouth, black minority woman, who we claim we're so sensitive to. Now you see this dude laughing at this black woman who is trying to get to work. He thinks it's funny with his man bun. Yeah, lucky I'm not her boyfriend. I would be like, I saw the dude down there with the man bun blocking you and laughing while you're talking about I got to pick my kid up and go to work. So how about I go down there and snatch that man bun completely off of his head? If you're not a samurai swordsman, you don't need to have a man bun. So here he is laughing at this black woman. Now imagine if these were two Trump supporters down there with MAGA hats on, blocking this black lady from getting to work and mocking her when she say, I got to go to work.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. Oh no, not work. It's funny to them. It's funny to them. They always reveal themselves. So yeah, right now this black woman ain't got nothing to do with ICE. She's like, yo, I need to get somewhere. And these are the white liberals out there blocking the black woman. Where's the press? Why aren't they saying, you know what, see, these the white supremacists are out there blocking black people from getting to work. They're not out there saying that. They're okay with the way they're mocking and treating this black woman. See, so they pick and choose when they get outraged over racism.
I care so much. So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
No.
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
That's all she wanted. So now, once again, take our anarchy outside of being directed towards ICE and police and start focusing on inconveniencing people in society. Beat society into submission through just antagonizing them, irritating them, blocking them from going to work, whining, burning down stuff, looting, all of that stuff. Eventually society will say, that's it. But nope, not this society. So what's this? Oh shoot, here's the real goal. Watch these anarchists. They're going to leak out what their intentions are. Watch this.
I gotta ask, what's the point of doing that at this point? Like, what's the point of tagging? I'm just asking. No, I wanted to know because, you know, Old Vera Street, your thoughts on
Get them the out of our city. If they don't stop, we're going to continue. We'll burn it all down.
We'll burn it all down. Get ICE out of our city. Because if they continue, we will burn it all down. Now, there you go. That's what they're planning on doing for Saturday. They're out there with their black mask on again in the summertime. Don't want their face to be seen. But dang on, what's his name? I call him Hawker Jeffries. He wants to make sure ICE show their face though. He wants them to show their face. But these people who's threatening to burn down the whole city, I guess they have good intentions, right? Mostly peaceful.
I know, but vandalism, what does it do?
We burn it all down. You understand, stupid?
You hear that? Yeah. See, so the only people who don't think that these people are there to burn it down are the stupid ones. See, we're the smart ones because we know why they're there. When you show up with a mask on and Molotov cocktails and this stuff like that, we know why you're there. So we're not stupid. We know you're there to burn it down. It's the people who think you're really there for peaceful protests. They're the dummies.
No, I'm not trying to be stupid. Well, how come they're destroying the Mexican properties? The Mexican
property, bro.
Across the way at Old Vera Street.
I didn't do that.
Well,
I didn't do that. I'm not responsible for when our anarchist and chaotic behavior spills over into the community and damages the people we claim we're fighting for. I'm not responsible for that.
This is their problem.
Well, you should tell people to stop destroying.
I never touched a small business ever.
Okay.
Never. Only government property.
Only government property, y'all. But Trump should not have sent in the National Guard. Yeah. See, so they're only there to burn down government property, y'all. Isn't that an insurrection? Isn't that? Imagine some MAGA people getting caught on video saying that. Uh-oh, but wait a minute, y'all. Here it is, the so-called No King protest. So let's see exactly their strategy because they don't like Trump because they think he's a king. So here we go.
Several No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah,
What are they called? No king?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved.
Yes!
A king would say, I'm not gonna get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say,
Right.
You gotta pull this off, and after years we get it done.
See? That's all you got to do is use a bit of common sense. There it is. Just Trump saying that should shut down all of this talk about he's a king and a dictator. Some king, some dictator, dealing with all these stupid elements of anarchy. Did you know that's what their goal is? Yeah, but you still deal with them. You still deal with these stupid judges that are nothing more than advocates and a whole bunch of liberal, folks just making these calls just to disrupt them. You still deal with them. You don't just send in Gestapo to just take them away. You don't do that. But a king would. Yeah, you still tolerate the fake news every single day coming out lying on you, demonizing you. You still deal with it. What kind of king is this? So, yeah, that should shut down the whole Trump's a king narrative.
No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all. Thank you very much.
So here we go, y'all. Look at this. Coordinated attacks. Let's start with where we at here. This one right here. So you know what they're planning. Omaha, I guess New England. So watch this. This is what's going on up there, y'all. The NE stands for New England, right? New England? I think so. So I guess this is Omaha, New England. Let's see what they're doing up there. It's not even Saturday. Now watch all these illegal immigrants. Bang! Bam! There you go. Yeah. They're going out for professional baseball. That's all they're doing. They're just practicing. Unfortunately, these ICE vehicles are in their way. Oh, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah. What am I talking about? Omaha, New England. Nebraska. Got to get my, what do you call those? My acronyms right. So now, you see these people? Now, these are most likely illegal immigrants themselves. They seem to all be Hispanic. And because ICE has taken away some people from the job, they decide to start throwing bricks at these vehicles and calling these people the N-word. I thought you weren't allowed to say the N-word unless you was black. That's it. There we go. Yep. And that is why they keep doing this. See that?
Come on! Come on!
You hear all that filth, foreign filth that's coming out of these people's mouths? And we're supposed to be sympathetic to their needs. Yeah. There you go. Now you would think it would be over, right? You would think they would just say, okay, let them go. Let them go ahead and get out of here. But nope. Watch these people. You see this? Looks like anarchy. There you go. There you go. Right there. Right there. You see? So now, this is their style of peaceful protesting. Now, if you get the double tap, it's all your fault. Foop, foop. All 4 tires. Floop, floop. There it is. So now, that's what they're doing. They're going to stop this vehicle. Yep. Yep. And regular Americans are supposed to be watching this and saying, yeah, we want these people in our country. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, these are our neighbors. These are our friends. These are our... No. These folks right here are rebel rousers. Whoa. Look at that. Yeah. And you know why they're doing it? Because nobody's running them over. You know why they're doing it? Because nobody's getting out with a billy club and going across their heads. Oh, you ran me over? Even though I jumped in front of your car? Look, right back. Right back there. Right back there. See, these people, man. Oh, calling them N-words. There you go. And I bet you that news guy right there, instead of filming it and saying, look at these anarchists. Look at these people attacking ICE. No, these people were provoked. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Even though I was on the front of your car. Don't touch me. You see? Do you want this element in America? You want this element in your neighborhood? Yeah, you're calling them the N-word, y'all. Somebody says speed up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Break in the back window. Now you see that? That's all they know. They walk right away when the ICE officers get out because they know that their main priority is just to get out of here with the people that they've just detained. So what these folks do is let's go ahead, hit and run. Because they know that ICE most likely is not going to run them down, throw them on the ground, and arrest their butts. And so they're getting away with this. We need to come up with a tactic, y'all, that can stop this.
Get back. Get back.
Look at that. Get back. See, instead of pushing him, he should have slammed his butt face first on the ground, threw his arms behind his back, and threw him in the back with the rest of them. Oh, you hear? Effing N-words. That's what they're calling them.
Fuck you guys! Fuck you!
Which one? I'll break him on, bitch.
And you know what? That kid right there might just grow up to be a future MS-13 gangbanger. The way he's acting. There you go. Coming to a Democrat city near you. So now, what does ICE have to do? Deal with all this nonsense and try to get out of there without hurting one of these people or running them over. Yep. Kicking the car on the way out. See? Almost ran her feet over. Should have did it. But wait, if you think it's just Omaha, Nebraska, you would be wrong. Look at how Seattle is preparing for their No King Day.
New video into our newsroom this morning from across the country as anti-ICE protests spread to more cities.
More
cities. This is a new video out of downtown Seattle where hundreds marched overnight blocking traffic for hours. A dumpster also set on fire.
Mostly peaceful. So now, what are the media going to say about all of this? And got to understand, guys, it's going to get worse tomorrow. Because that's Trump's big birthday celebration with them, all that stuff. It's going to get worse. This is happening before tomorrow. So look at that. Yeah, they're warming up. They're warming up. Look at that.
With ICE protests erupting across the country, this one in Seattle, where overnight police arrested several demonstrators.
Look at that explosion. An S-hole ran Democrat sanctuary city.
The epicenter remains Los Angeles, where thousands of National Guard troops are keeping watch and 700 Marines are poised to join them. Democrats on Capitol Hill are questioning the president's motives.
Yeah, questioning the president's motives. What do you mean you're questioning his motives? As you're seeing fireworks explode, fireworks thrown at cops, cars being attacked, people standing in front. What do you think his motive is? It's to stop this chaos.
Our Marines train for combat in the Indo-Pacific, not for securing the streets of Los Angeles.
Well, apparently the cops aren't trained for securing the streets of Los Angeles either, because it got out of control.
President Trump insisting protests against ongoing immigration raids would have been much worse if he hadn't acted. State and local leaders say the situation was under control.
Under control. Under Democrat control. I wouldn't want to trust Democrats controlling nothing. If they say, don't worry, we got it all under control, I'm like, nope, don't trust it. I don't care what it is. I do not care what it is. Don't worry, come on across the street. There's nothing coming. There's nothing coming. I would look both ways and see no cars, but still wouldn't cross because a Democrat politician told me to. I'd be going, there got to be an invisible car somewhere. They're about to get me killed. I don't trust them whatsoever.
Accuse the president of manufacturing a crisis.
Maybe we are part of a national experiment to determine how far the federal government can go.
Yeah, they'll go as far as y'all make them go when you are harboring criminals and then encouraging these people to attack law authorities.
In reaching in and taking over power.
The rare military activation in an American city comes as Washington prepares for a big show of military might as well. A parade celebrating the 205th Army Saturday on President Trump's 79th birthday.
Yeah, and they're going to try to ruin that. You know they're going to try to ruin his birthday because they're protesting against No King Day. How do you think they're going to protest? You think they're all going to sit around and sing Kumbaya? Or do you think they're going to show up with their black masks and their Molotov cocktails and their faces covered and stuff like they've been doing? Because you already know that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So brace for impact, y'all. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, so dumpster on fire in the middle of the street. About 1,000, mostly black-clad rioters there.
Nala.
They were throwing
Bad,
massive fireworks into the center of it, which...
Massive fireworks into the center of it.
If you weren't watching what was happening and you were just in the area downtown, you would have thought were explosion. Well, it is explosion, but a bomb of some kind. It was crazy. Oh, my God.
Look at that. Seattle, y'all. Look, no ICE agents there. That's why this is anarchy. No ICE agents. They're not there to protest ICE. They're there to destroy that city and to act a complete fool and say that we're just doing this because we're protesting Trump being a king.
What you didn't see right before that video started is the police had formed a line up the street, and these rioters were so emboldened, they marched right up to the police, and someone took one of those massive fireworks and they threw it in the middle of the police line. I can't imagine that there were police officers who were
peaceful. Marched right up to the police in Seattle and threw that firework right into the audience, right in the cop's face. Peacefully though. That's what that is right there. They were agitated to do it.
Weren't injured as a result of that. The destruction left behind was pretty severe at the federal building.
Let's see it.
And there were still people after police had dispersed the crowd. I mean, I captured a guy spray painting the federal building. Nope.
Anarchy. You see that? Look what he's spray painting.
No one around to stop him. Complete lawlessness.
Lawlessness.
I mean, all measure of things. Sorry for the penis drawing.
Oh, yeah. No penis drawing.
That was, I mean, they're very mature people, obviously.
Yeah.
So, look, you know, things are definitely escalating. I will say that. I don't know what to expect for Saturday. There's this
Well, I do. So y'all better brace for impact. I mean, I'm in a pretty safe area in Youngstown. I don't think no shenanigans are going to go on here. However, they would love to see Trump issue martial law. They would love to be so crazy and chaotic all over the place to where we got to stop what we're doing and tell everybody to lock it down. Because see, they know that these police in these cities, they're just going to walk right up to them. That's all they're going to do. Walk right up to them, and then they're going to confront the police, throw stuff at them, spit on them and stuff like that. In liberal, SO-ran states and cities, and nothing's going to happen to them. But hey, before we go, we might have a solution on how to deal with these type of people.
No Kings march that's going to happen in Seattle, a bunch of other cities in Washington
Seattle.
State and across the country. I think they said this is like, there's like 1,900, so almost 2,000 of these No Kings protests that are going to happen across
2,000 of them, organically, not financed though by somebody.
Across the country.
Oregon, let's see what's going on up there. Let's see what's
Demonstrations expected downtown, just blocks away from the Medford Cruise event. And Damian Alvarado spoke with local law enforcement who say they're prepared.
McAndrews Road, where this Saturday you can expect this street to be lined with protesters. I was able to talk to the Medford Police Department.
Protesters or anarchists?
Department that said they will have extra staffing on hand, not only in this area, but at other public events happening come Saturday.
Really? Uh-oh, they're warming up in
Oregon.
Oregon.
Time protesters gathered in downtown Medford, it was the April Hands Off Medicaid rally, drawing dozens to Vogel Plaza and areas of Biddle Road with signs and chanting.
Now that's when they were using the old washed up hippies. That's when they were using them. But that time is over.
This Saturday, demonstrators are returning, this time under the banner of No Kings.
There it is.
According to their website, organizers are saying it's a national protest movement opposing authoritarianism and abuse of power.
Authoritarianism. Look at all those dots. Now, if you don't think this is a coordinated effort to cause mass chaos, you are foolish. If you think all those dots represent peaceful protesters, you're idiots. But watch the media. I don't care how bad it gets tomorrow. Watch the media run interference for all of the chaos that's going to take place tomorrow.
Howard.
Let's see what's going on in LA, y'all. Here's something. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this. Yeah. They done built a little fort. That shoots off fireworks. How does it get to that? How do you, as the authorities and the leader of these cities, allow them to set up a full-blown fort in the middle of the street where they're able to fire off fireworks at the law enforcement? How does it get to that? And yet they're talking about Trump shouldn't have sent in the military. Look at that. Attacking folks on horseback, scaring the horses. Oh, let's go out to nasty Pelosi land, San Francisco. Let's see what Nasty's place is looking like.
The anti-Trump, anti-ICE protests, riots really, have spread to other blue cities. Let's have a look at what's happening in San Francisco.
San Fran. Oh, well, look at that. There you go. I'm pretty sure some ICE agents are inside those windows. That's what they're doing. Those are ICE agents in there, right? Look at this. Democrat voters, all encouraged by Democrats. Unbelievable. We cannot lose our country to these people. We need to do whatever is necessary to shut this trash down. Look at this. Here's Atlanta. Let's go ahead down to Georgia.
And even south to Atlanta.
Let's see what they're doing. Look at that.
Over there. Camera.
Yeah, I'm sure the police was the ones that agitated them and made them feel like, oh, you know what, we were minding our business, peacefully protesting. Then the cops came and invoked us, and then we jumped on the car and started stepping on it. Isn't it odd, though, that all of these cars that have been commandeered and burned and destroyed and stuff, the cops are nowhere around the cars. You would think if the cops got out the cars and antagonized these people or did something to them, they would still be there trying to defend their car. They've surrendered. Just straight up like, man, take the car, destroy it, tear it up. Look at that, having fun. That's the image that you want to see going on around our country. And if you think it's bad there and right now, imagine what they're going to do tomorrow.
I think that increasingly the violence is going to be indiscriminate. It's not going to be just directed against ICE or federal buildings or police forces.
Yeah, because true anarchists want to burn it all down. It has nothing to do with ICE. It's the system.
In police cars, I think that these perpetrators pose a genuine danger to the public broadly.
Yep.
They're going to be increasingly setting cars on fire and probably looting stores indiscriminately, anything they can get into, attacking shops. And the reason is that these guys are simply united by anti-American sentiments.
Anti-American sentiments. Anarchists. You see where we're going with this? And we know that their goal is not just the ICE. They're like, this is our big chance to tear it all down and rebuild it. We want to make society submit to our radical behavior. That's what we want to do. See, because we are trusting that conservatives will not come off the bench and hurt us. Yeah, we are relying on your self-control and your love for law and order. We're taking advantage of your kindness. That's what we're doing.
So there might be some nuances in terms of their differences. How much are they motivated against ICE or how much specifically against immigration policy? But this is just an opportunity for left-wing extremists to try to exert their control over the country.
And that is exactly why we can't let this happen. By any means necessary, Trump needs to send in whoever he got to make sure that we do not let this happen. If they get away with mass chaos with no consequences, they're going to think we're emboldened. We pulled that off. Let's go. Let's continue. Let's spread it. It worked. We need to stomp this mess out tomorrow emphatically.
And to intimidate anyone there. So yes, this is domestic extremism and unfortunately, probably increasingly terrorism.
So now, let's go ahead and close out with possible solutions on how we can shut this mess down, y'all. Look at this. Watch this anarchist. Oh, snap. There it is. The full-blown football tackle. We got some law-abiding citizens out there making citizens arrest. See, I bet you if a whole bunch of Proud Boys start marching towards all these anarchists, they'll be concerned. Yeah. Let a whole bunch of conservatives posse up to go down there to support our men and women, and law and order and all that stuff. They'll be going, oh shoot. They might not be shackled like these police officers are. These folks might be making football tackles on us. I love that kid, whoever he is. That's right. Grab that anarchist and lock him up.
Whoa!
Ronnie Lott, that was a beautiful tackle. Yeah, man. Wait a minute. Did you see him walk into it though? See, that's the great part about it. He thought he got away with it. Look at him. Yeah, I'm out of here. Oh! They need to bring him on Fox and interview him. That's what they need to do. I want him in Cav's corner like, dude, so where'd you learn the form tackle like that? That was a perfect tackle.
Whoa! Stop! Jesus, you just hit me! I just thought it was a lesson.
So wait a minute. And then to close it out, guys, this is how these folks need to be treated. This is how you handle it. This will shut it all down right here. Listen to this.
I'm gonna break it down for you.
Break it down.
All right. And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right,
This is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired.
So wait, you're telling me you aren't going to just have all of your police officers up there just as a false show of force, where they just kind of walk forward towards them and let them do whatever they want and spit on them and hit them with all kinds of stuff? You're actually telling me that in this area where we implement law and order and consequences, that these folks would get what type of treatment? This type of treatment would shut it all down.
Because we're going to run you down and put you in jail.
What? So they're not just going to chase you and let you fall on the ground and then get back in their trucks and start leaving? They're not going to do that? They're going to take you with them? Continue telling us. I like this plan.
If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over.
Bam! That will solve it. All it would take is to see one or two people get their feet ran over with the double tap. And guess what? That'll send a message. You don't get in front of authority and sound like, you ain't leaving. Foo, 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 foo. Oh my God, they just ran over my feet. That's right. Might even go, hit them with a double dose. Back up. Make sure they felt it. That'll send a message. Oh, shoot, we're in the wrong city. Well, we're not in an SO-ran, anarchist city the Democrats run and tell the police leave them be. We're somewhere where they're saying, y'all ain't gonna bring that mess here. What else? Tell me, you brave, strong officer.
And dragged across the street.
Dragged across the street.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital.
Definitely. That's just standard protocol. You don't spit on a human and not expect to go to the hospital. I mean, that's that right there. All bets are off when you go. I saw a dude get in a fight with his girlfriend in a Suzuki Samurai back when we had high top fades, and she had him in that car in a headlock and had that whole box in her hand so tight that it looked like a powder puff. It looked like an Afro puff. And the cops came to break it up. So the dude was letting her go ahead. He's like, hey man, just let me go. Come on, man, let me go. They grabbed the girl by her ankles, pull her out of that Isuzu rodeo. He gets out, and instead of, detaining the girl, they let her get one good hard punch to this guy's face. Bam! He took it. Oh, okay. But where he lost it is when she said, and that hawker came out rotating and said, and he said, ran towards her with both hands out towards that neck. And if it wasn't for that cop throwing that billy club around his neck, he would have choked her to death. That was the final frontier. You just spit in my face? All bets are off. So yes, if these people are spitting on cops, yeah, man, hospital first, then jail.
And then jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail.
There you go. That will solve a lot of these problems.
And most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs.
Yeah, forget measure. Yeah, let Ren 1010 have his way too. Yeah, everybody should get in on the fun when it comes down to these anarchists who think there's no consequences.
We have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, a pointed gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at. We will kill you graveyard dead.
Graveyard dead! Problem solved. Right there. No more fireworks being shot at the police because you could kill somebody. No more bricks being thrown through their car windows because you could kill somebody. Right there, you're putting my life in danger when you shoot fireworks at me and throw Molotov cocktails at me. Why would I just go ahead and say, hey, now stop that? When you have potential to kill me, how about I put one or two in your leg, if not somewhere else? That would solve it. Now, tell me this, guys. Do you think with that message and that tone right there, do you think we're going to see protests in that area? Do you think we're going to see a big outpouring of them coming with their Molotov cocktails and their face masks and their cars that's bringing all of their stuff? No. Because, see, this is how you send a message and you shut that mess down. And if Democrat politicians weren't in bed with these anarchists, that's what would happen. And you see the difference. Because in their states and city, they know that we can push it to the max, we really got to get under their skin for them to actually arrest us. But not here.
We're not going to play.
We're not going to play.
Got to stop.
Got to stop. Thank you. That right there should be sent out to every police station across the nation. And they say, this is the protocol. This is how you deal with this. Stop coddling these people. Yeah, these are weak, cowardice people who are taking advantage of the system and also taking advantage of the Democrat leadership that has encouraged them and enabled them. That's what this is. And until we start sending a serious message to let them know there are consequences, they'll continue to do it. And however that has to be done, we need to do it. And what I mean by that, I ain't talking about just going in there, I'm talking about if they pull this crap tomorrow and Trump has to send in the National Guard to every single one of these areas, do it. Do it. Because guess what? The narrative's going to be out there anyway. The left is going to whine anyway. See, so forget what they got to say. I don't care if they all get on TV. Look what happened. National Guard came in. They're policing citizens. I don't care about that anymore. It's beyond that. Right now, we need to go ahead and meet them where they are. And that means, all right, police, if you guys have been ordered to stand down, let us go in and do what we got to do to squash this type of anarchy, or we will be dealing with this the rest of the 3 years we have. And I don't want to deal with it. I don't want these folks emboldened or nothing. We need to squash this mess. Dang on it. And if they got to deputize me, then dang on it, deputize me. I'll go down there like I thought. So now wait, what all can I do with this badge? All right, can I do some of those football tackles? Yeah. Okay, let me start there. I'll relive my college days by form tackling all of these soft dudes running around with black masks on and buns in their hair. Yeah. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thank you, Don, for posting that. My Cash App and my PayPal links and all of that stuff. You can support the channel through those things. Thanks to all those who gave in the super chat. Yeah, man, I put in some work today, y'all. I hit y'all with 4+ hours of content. Yeah, man. So I will be back probably Monday. Yeah, I'll be back Monday to follow up on the chaos that I'm sure will occur tomorrow. The chaos. Hopefully you're not in a chaotic city. But keep your ear to the street. Be smart. Keep your head on a swivel for liberals. Swivel for liberals. That's what you got to do. Keep your head on a swivel for liberals. Make sure nobody throw a Molotov cocktail at you for no reason. All right? Stay frosty. And we will be back to cover it. And if it gets crazy, if it gets real crazy, I might just go ahead and do a live stream on either Sunday or Saturday night, depending on how crazy things get. And hopefully, guys, best case scenario is that it is underwhelming. But for them to coordinate this and try to make it to appear to be, we're fighting against the kings and all, you already know what they're going to try to do. Got it? So we just got to do what we got to do. As simple as that. So thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget, text MAGA to this number right here. Down. Text MAGA to that number right there on the screen, 330-974-4607. And also, what did I say? Hard-headed. Yeah, see, sometimes you got to That's how they need to handle these people. Yeah, that wasn't an empty threat. If she would have jumped down and ran away, she would have got popped on her butt. That's what they need. Dang on it. Let you know we ain't playing. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that your notification button is turned on to all so you'll get all the notifications. And check out some of my other videos that I did upload. Check out the one that I did about my friend that plays, well, he don't play. He's a coach for Notre Dame. He used to coach for the Chiefs. And I retell his story, miraculous story. But go ahead and check that out. I want to increase those numbers, and I want to be able to bring him on so he can, I want to do an interview with him. So, I want to get those numbers up. So please check that video out and let me know you watched it if you can in the comments. All right. Other than that, let's get ready to get out of here, man. Yeah, I done worked up an appetite. Go down and make some tacos, y'all. This is our city. That's what we got to let them know. Y'all throats. I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. God bless. Take care.